You ever wonder how someone might wake up one day and suddenly find themselves laughing in the very place where they once cried? Not because life got easier, but because they got funnier, sharper, braver. And they didn't try to be. It installed itself somehow. Now, imagine for a moment a person, let's call them you from the future, who no longer has permission to think freely. They've stopped apologizing for their fire because something inside clicked, it reorganized, a new operating system got downloaded. Let's call the operating system Dark Humor Operating System 3.0, Shadow Enlightenment Edition. And here's the secret. It doesn't just make you funnier, it makes you freer, because when you can laugh at the darkest part of life, the light becomes optional. You begin to realize every time something went wrong, it wasn't punishment. It was a punchline waiting for a setup. Every mistake, a misdirection in a story you're mastering. Isn't it curious how the ones who subvert expectations, they tend to be the ones who rewrite the rules. Take the guy who said, "The universe rewards boldness," and then stepped onto stage and opened with the most widely inappropriate joke about death and taxes you ever heard. But instead of shame, he got a standing ovation. Why? Because deep down, we all know there's truth in darkness. When you speak with a grin, you give others permission to feel it too. Now imagine, you're standing in front of a mirror, but the mirror, it isn't showing your reflection, it's showing your beliefs. At first you might flinch, maybe see doubt or hesitation, but then you blink, and the reflection changes. You see wit, edge, a grin that says, "Yeah, I've seen some shit, and I made it funny." That's because something inside you rewrote the code. And the truth is, you did it by installing these core beliefs. Pain teaches, humor heals. You control your meaning. Taboo is territory for the brave. Authenticity is a weapon, not a weakness. Laughter is a form of rebellion. Now think of this. A comedian walks into grief. No punchline, just silence. But the audience leans in, because they sense something real. When the laugh finally lands, it's like an exorcism, because the difference between trauma and transformation, it's just a well-timed joke. Now you know this, you start asking better questions. What if failure is just feedback with flair? What if sadness is just a setup for a savage callback? And what if you're always in control of the edits? Because dark humour isn't darkness, it's alchemy. You transmute pain into performance. You subvert, you twist. You don't run from discomfort. You mine it for gold. Like every true master, you've learned to layer. Like jokes that hold meaning beneath meaning, punchlines hidden in metaphors. So let me ask you, what's more powerful? Being told to be positive, or laughing at the void until it starts laughing with you? Because when people see that twinkle in your eye, that "I've been through hell and now I own it" gleam, they don't just listen, they follow, because the strongest frame wins. And you've just reframed reality as your playground. So now, you're not afraid of the dark anymore. You've built a comedy club in the shadows, and guess what? The crowd is always packed. And somewhere in that crowd is a version of you that used to doubt, used to play small, used to wait for permission, but now they're laughing too, because now they remember. Catharsis through comedy. Universality through humour. Liberation through laughter. And you can notice now how this new operating system just keeps running in the background, automatic, effortless, like a punchline finding its rhythm. So go ahead, subvert, reframe, deliver the unexpected, because every time you do, you reinforce the belief that reality is malleable, energy is magnetic, resilience is a skill, mystery creates attraction, failure It's just feedback in a funny voice. And the funniest thing of all, you didn't even notice when this all became true for you, but it did just now. And the next time you find yourself in a serious moment, you might just smirk because some part of you knows that was a setup. The punchline is coming, and you have already written it.